What's going on, guys? It's Bozglows here, and today I'm back with episode 7 of my series Start to Finish. Now, if you don't know this by now, I'm an author, I'm a writer, and a creator, and I like talking about stuff. Anime, writing, film, it doesn't matter. I love it. I do it because I truly enjoy it. It's my passion, and writing is something that I decided to start doing off the whim. So rewind back and forth. Let's rewind a year ago when I wrote my first novel. I pretty much wrote the first draft, and it was pretty much a precursor to the novel that I'm writing now. So I found myself learning how to write as I wanted to write a novel, if that makes sense. So I wanted to be a writer. So I started writing. I wrote a story I had in my head. It went out. I wrote it from start to finish. And then once it was done, I sent it over to the editor, and the editor is like, you definitely have talent, but you still need a little work. I didn't understand exactly what that meant at the time. However, I just kept going because she would send me feedback, she would give me criticism, but I just kept going because I felt like it was something that I really wanted to do, and I was so interested in doing it. But at some point in time, I had to stop and realize, or introspect. I had to do a deep introspection of what I want to do, my skill level. Is this for me? Will I ever be a good writer? What are my ambitions? What are my goals? What do I plan to achieve by writing this book? Spending hours and hours writing. What do I plan on achieving? That was something that I had to answer for myself. That was something that only I could answer. I couldn't find the answer in nobody else. Nobody could answer it for me. I provided the content. I provided the material. However, something told me to hold off for a second. I paused because after I wrote the story, I got this great idea about a character inside the first book that I wrote. What if I did a spin-off on that main character? Because right now, that story is in right now. If you think about where the market is going, what everybody is reading, what is being published, I have a perfect story for her right now. So what I decided to do was I decided to stop with the first book that I wrote, because I feel like that is something that I still want to do. That's like my first and only, like my first child. It's my baby. I want to nurse that book. So I'm going to come back to it. But I went back and I did my homework. I read three sci-fi books in my genre on top of additional reading that I was doing as far as learning how to write. I had to brush up on some of my technical skills as far as writing goes, because I'm going to be honest, it's a different type of writing that you do in academia versus writing an actual story, because you have to be a lot more creative with your writing when you're writing your stories. So I had to brush up on that as well. Not only did I have to read what was going on in the industry, what agents were signing or publishing, and what houses wanted to take in as far as the projects, as far as publishing under their names. It was a lot that I had to learn. And even a writing style, something as simple as introductions, subtle introductions per every chapter, or something to keep the reader engaged in not the story itself, but what's happening around the story that could be influencing the story indirectly. So I give you an example. If you're writing about a woman and her child, and she's seeking some type of medical treatment for her child for a sickness or disease, yet you don't know what's going on. Maybe say the CDC is having trouble with this unexpected rare disease that's popped up in the middle of Philadelphia, and it's spreading down the East Coast, and next thing you know, it's going to be a wildfire across the United States. Then that's something that you need to know, because it builds momentum, it builds tension, it builds ultimately your content and what that point you want to deliver and drive through when you get there. So yes, it takes time to deliver this content. It takes time to write. It takes time. All this stuff takes time. Now, one thing that I do remember from my editor that I used, one of my first editors that I ever used, as you become a new author and as you become a writer and a creator, you got to realize that accepting criticism is going to be your number one goal. You need to learn how to accept criticism, or else you'll never be able to move on, and you'll never be able to get better. But one thing that she told me, and I remember this, I'm going to remember this pretty much for the rest of my career as far as being a writer. She was like, this is something that most writers do. When they start writing a book, it's like telling a story to themselves. Yes. So you tell a story to yourself, you write it from point A through Z. and then you give it to an editor or a publisher or an agent. They're reading and you're getting no, no, no. Then you find out if you really want to be a writer, because you have to go back and you have to contemplate making changes that you are not willing to make. You're thinking in your head, the story is finished. That's it. That it is as good as it's going to get. That's my story. That's how I'm going to tell it. While not noticing that in your particular genre that you're missing certain elements that you need to push your story forward or push your book forward. So it's not about, writing a story and telling it to yourself, because you can write the story and tell it to yourself, but you want to make sure you're doing it right. And this is where I'm at, because here I am, this is episode 7, and I wrote 2 chapters. I didn't post any in June because I was actually reflecting on this book, reflecting on the story, reflecting on the characters, reflecting on how I wanted to put myself in my main character's shoes and think about this feeling firsthand. So it took me a month to do this. I went on my vacation. Even when I got on my vacation, I wanted to write, but I didn't. I chose to just, every day I come in my office, I sit in this chair right here and I think, what would my main character feel in this situation or that situation? How would she react? How would she respond? And then on top of that, great sources that you can go and actually figure out how a person will react. You can gauge how that person will react in any given moment. So that's very important for me because I realize that when you're reading a book, you want to draw out those emotions from your readers. You want to draw out those emotions so they can be furthermore engaged with your reading in the words on your book. And that's what they call simply a page turner. Writing page turners, it takes skill, it takes time. And, you think about Maya Angelou, you think about James Baldwin, you think about Stephen King, some of the best writers, J.K. Rowling, who write these books, they take their time. It's really art. Picasso didn't become Picasso overnight. Leonardo da Vinci didn't become Leonardo da Vinci overnight. And so on and so on, because these things like this, it takes time. So here I am, 30,000 words, and I feel like I've managed to pace this book as good as I'm actually quite surprised at my pacing, because since I'm at 30,000 words, you gotta remember the first book I ever wrote is 60,000 words. It's unpublished yet. And 60,000 words. So here I am, I'm on chapter 7, part 2, phase 2 of this book, and I'm already at 30,000 words. And you're talking about a book that may be scheduled for at least 4 to 7 parts. So do I want this book to be drastically long? I'm talking about 150,000 words to 200,000 words. No, I don't want that. I don't want this book to be this long, because I feel like I can tell this story maybe 90 to 100,000 words, 80 to 100,000 words. I feel like I can tell this story completely and be satisfied with what I delivered to the world. So by saying that, I am going to do some serious writing. Like I picked up writing and I got back into my groove. So I'm trying to reschedule myself and get back on my writing. And I've thought about where this book needs to go. And now I'm just simply like an iron, and I'm ironing some pants out, and I'm trying to get all the wrinkles out. I'm just simply making it as flat as surface as possible, making it simple, delivering it to the point, making my lines more punchier when I need to, and also making it enjoyable for you guys, the readers, that one day will be reading this book, because, hey, I plan on being a New York Times bestseller author. So why not? Why not? That's a goal. That's a goal that I have. And I don't think that's too far-fetched to think about that. You got to set these lofty goals. Stay within reach of the realm of reality. If it's there, why not reach for it? In business, we got a saying that says, start with the end in mind. So why not? Start with the end in mind. If you want to be a bestseller New York Times author, start there. Think about how to get there and just write, prepare, like you're going to be it, because that's one of the best things I can do for you. The law of attraction is real, and if you pass it up, if you think of yourself as unworthy, then guess what? You will be. So do yourself a favor and start with that end in mind. When you see yourself, if you see yourself holding that trophy at the end of the line, start there, because I guarantee you that's where everything's going to happen. Now, also, while I was writing, I came across roadblocks. Now, roadblocks are pretty much, let's say you go through and you plan your story, but you get to your story and as you're writing, things change. Maybe an element, you didn't like a certain element, so you didn't add it or you removed it. So now you come to a roadblock because you're like, hey, because I didn't add this roadblock or this element into the book, how do I navigate around this back to the main storyline? And that's one of the things that you're going to have to constantly go through, because that's just simply you being more creative and drawing out the best storytelling you can. And like I said, if you're in sci-fi, you want to stick to that point of, you don't want to start pulling out, oh, and then somebody waved the wand and abracadabra and this was it, the story. No, I still want to stay in this realm of reality where this person, my main character, has to use their brain to navigate, solve problems. She has to, or he has to solve the problems that there are at hand. So that's currently where I'm at, guys. Like I said, deep introspection time. I didn't post in June at all. I did post some One Piece content, but that's simply because One Piece is just pretty much going ham right now. But I've always been in the book. I always thought about the book even when I was doing my One Piece content. And now I'm here because I finished my first 30,000 words, and wow, I can't even explain the feeling, because I'm halfway with a book already. If you think about it, it's a short story. If I say end story right now, it's a short story. So here I am, 4 months later down the road, and I'm 30,000 words in. It feels good. It's amazing. And you talking about somebody who pumped out 60,000 words in a matter of 4 months. Now, I've done 30,000 in 4 months. Think about it. Am I writing slower, or did I learn and then I matured myself? I'm at a certain maturity level to take my time, go back, edit, revise after every chapter. That's just wisdom. That's experience. I didn't do that when I wrote the first book, and now I'm doing that, and I see the importance of doing it, because when you send it to an editor, you don't want an editor to spend their time doing grammar, rewriting sentences that should have been already done. You don't want to spend your time and your money, because take it from me, it's going to cost you a lot of time and money by doing that. And I wish I would have did this beforehand, but now I'm starting to realize with the experience as I go on, hey, revise, re-edit your story every chapter. It's simple. It'll save you money in the long run, and it'll make your book more readable to agents and publishers, so that way they can think about signing your book and actually signing you to a deal. But I don't know. I haven't been signed yet, so this is what I'm working on to. This is what I'm working my way up to. Other than that, guys, yeah, I think I covered everything. Oh, man. So I don't know how to say this, but just keep on writing, guys. Keep on painting. Keep on producing your music. Just keep whatever you're doing. You're a creator. You're an author. You're a writer. It doesn't matter. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. And just know experience is the best teacher. So just keep going, and you will grow in your skill set. You will continue to move forward. You will be better. And by the time you look back, you'll notice that you're further than where you started. And you just simply took the next step. That's it. Other than that, y'all, it's Isaac Lewis. Make sure you like and hit that subscribe button, and then click that bell for notifications. A lot of you are watching my videos, but you're not subscribing. So go ahead and subscribe for me. Like I said, I make content. I show you how to start and finish projects. And starting with this series from start to finish, I'm going to show you how I finished my projects. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and click that bell for notifications, guys. And this is Isaac Lewis, and I'll see you guys later.